What's up, guys, and welcome back to DMP's The Caucus Challenge, Season 19, Unfinished Business, Episode 8, Live Recap. Tonight, we are getting into all the spicy drama and events that played out in this week's episode. We've officially made the halfway mark. We have a format twist. We have deliberations and our second elimination of day 2. So tonight we have some vets and some rookies with us. We have Ashley, Culp, Rachel, Jared, and we will be having some more guests hopefully throughout the night. I'm going to be co-hosting with Kevin today, who's hosting season 19. And we're going to give you all the behind the scenes and let the cast give you the behind the scenes of what went down this round. So let's jump straight into it. Janice is officially in the house. She won her way into the house, and there's a conversation between Janice and Clay. Janice is asking him, like, what's going on? What's the plan? Who are you working with? Who are you targeting? He gives her the rundown of, the format and the twist and all these different things. And ironically, Culp, Jared, and Rachel's name all come up in that conversation, which is, these are the people we're not working with. This is who I'm targeting. So from your guys' POV watching this conversation, because obviously none of you guys saw it, was there anything that stood out to you guys? Is there anything you guys wanted to touch based off before we move on to like the daily and the deliberation and stuff like that? And we'll start with Culp.
Oh, for sure. First of all, Janice coming back in, it was a great victory. She, handled her shit with May, and that's a win. That's a good W. To hear Janice say she doesn't know where she's going to stand when she comes in or feel like she is without allies feels like a fart in church, because she's coming into a very, very stacked group who is chomping at the bit to work with her and cheering and really ready to just bring her in, protect her at all costs. I feel like she's underplaying just how fortunate of a position she's walking into this game with. And for her to go right to Clay says a lot about where she feels she stands and who she feels she is closest with. So it's pretty understood. Then you got Clay, who is talking about me being a target for him, when I think just a few minutes prior or an hour prior, I was directly working with him. We were directly working together to hand him a win. I was working with his sister, who is here. I was in great standing with the guy. He's fresh in the game himself. And I would just, to me, it was a conversation that caught me really, really off guard, because I had no reason to feel like I was on his hit list outside of the fact that he just blatantly doesn't want to run a final against me. It's the only thing I could think of in that moment, hearing what he had to say. And if anyone would like to go after that, that's fine.
I'll piggyback off what you said, because the conversation took me a little bit by surprise. Not that I was working super tight with Clay or Janice, but like you said, the round prior, a few duos kind of came together to kind of give Clay that win, which now in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that, but it saved me from that elimination. And the game I was playing was just make it by anyone but me type of game, because that's the hand I was dealt. But I think with Clay specifically, I don't see myself as a threat to him. I don't see myself as a threat to anybody, to be honest. So I feel like if you're smart, you would want to work with somebody who's not a threat and take the threats out. But like you kind of said, he doesn't want to run a final against someone like Culp. So maybe that kind of made him look at us both kind of before and even when we were a pair. But I really wanted to work with Janice. I really wish I had the social capital, if you want to say that, to be able to be one of her potential people. But I feel like just because of the way that my game was playing, I was literally scraping and doing anyone but myself. Like anyone but me can go in.
Jared, Clay says off rip like you're really strong, you gotta go. Jared's gonna be a problem. Watching it back, are you surprised? Did you know this was happening? I know you were the house target, but what were your thoughts watching it back?
My immediate thoughts are Culp was talking, doing his thing. I thought I had plenty of time to open a bottle of wine. I was going to throw it in the chat. I can't chat right now. So that was my immediate thoughts. Sorry, I'm a rookie to this live stream thing. But yeah, Clay, it was any more allies Clay has is bad news for me, and just given the history that Janice and Clay have, I knew just another number I was going to be in trouble.
Ashley, you on the other hand, obviously Clay's your brother coming in. He's gonna protect you. You're gonna work with each other. What was it like for you watching that back? And was there any behind the scenes was there any conversation at this point where like you and Janice were gonna work together, or like where was your head at with Janice coming into the game?
I don't think at this point we had really even talked or chatted. I think just Clay being a vet kind of, I would say, handled that on his side. I mean, obviously, I felt protected with whatever Clay was going to do on that realm, but we didn't really talk about it. And then I do remember, and I know we're on this episode, but I do remember going to Clay and saying, okay, well, I'm starting to feel really good about Jared. And I know I mentioned Culp as well, but I know with Jared, I mean, I don't know if y'all remember that little clip from 1 or 2 episodes ago. And Clay says, okay, well, Jared's going to have to go soon. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Did you ever
So,
think to ask him why?
it boiled down to Jared being a really tough competitor. And I mean, that's really just, I think I don't know that I asked him specifically. I think in hindsight now, and I'll piggyback off I'm a rookie here. I'm new to this crap. So, but I think in hindsight now, and like kind of having a more handle and grasp of how this game and games in general work, and I think that to me that's what it boils down to is that, I mean, he already had too many connections and alliance members, and strong ones at that, that ultimately, if you just start looking at, I mean, I hate to say like his pecking order, but if it comes down to it, there really isn't room to add many more guys if you start looking towards, okay, if we're going to get to a final together. So in my opinion, I think that's really maybe just what it boiled down to. But I do know, like, Jared's a beast. If Clay and I have said it once, we have said it a million times. We have literally, that is how we referred to Jared. We're like, I don't know that he's human. We've said it. We're like, is he really human? Because the shit that he could do was wild. So I mean, if I'm Clay, I'm not running against him. But
You should see him wear matching colored shorts and shirts. It's inhuman. Truly inhuman stuff.
No,
yeah. Now, as far as you though, Culp, like I don't know that Clay and I had really. I'm not sure that I had an opportunity at that point to really explain to him how close I felt with you. I think whenever that competition happened, Cam and I won. It was just based on how the pairs were and who was off the table, and then who the house was voting in. I
We
my
could
hands
talk
were
about that
tied.
more. We could talk about that more
Yeah,
as we get
no,
to
my
it.
hands were tied on that, and I knew at that point, there was no
I
reason for
don't think
me
they
to
were.
fight back.
You see,
I
I
don't.
don't think they were.
You don't
we'll get there.
think?
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll
Okay,
get there.
okay.
So let's just talk about the whole final and the threats and all that. I will say, like, because Clay's not here, obviously, to speak for himself. I did not catch him once throughout the season or even his confessionals saying like that it was anything besides the fact of he like Jared and Cope are strong. Even Nate, like in his eyes, you were the 3 to beat at that point. In the game,
that's
right?
clear. That's
Yeah.
clear with the grouping.
Right. So in his eyes, kind of like what Ashley said, is like he already has his alliance, specifically the boys. There's no room unless a Zay or X or a Cam are out, where it's like, damn, I'm gonna have to run potentially against Jared and Cope. Like he didn't want to even test those waters. He knew where he stood with you guys, and I think, again, like I just think it's a competition thing. Like some people like to run against the best, some people want to run against the people they think they can beat. So I think
it's a combination. I think it's almost a combination of the two as well, where you have to make sure that you can make it to the final. And he felt very confident with his alliance that he could get to the final with them, which left no room to add other guys in there. But then, of course, it's kind of a positive, and a positive for him. Y'all were Nate was another one, that those are the 3 that he's like, that's my toughest competition physically and actually running the final with. And those 3 happen to not already be in his core alliance to protect him to get to the final. So it would be a gamble to remove someone else to add that in, and a gamble that then you get to the final and can you beat him? Which, I mean, we all know Clay, and we know he's going to say, of course he can, but let's get real.
I'm not gonna gang up on a guy who's not here, but I did find it a little unnerving that I was willing to work with him. I was willing to work with you. I wanted that relationship to be known to him in good faith, and I guess it didn't happen. So that's my stand
saying
on
that.
that.
Actually triggers another thing. There's no way I could tell you who all, but I heard it more than once, and I think I said it in my confessional. I heard it more than once that I couldn't trust, to be careful with what you say, that you're a great talker, a very smooth talker.
Nobody in that game at that point knows any bit of what my ability to talk or play outside of the challenge is like. So unfortunately, I think you were given a whole lot of when it came to that.
And that's where, by that point, although that had been said, I really wasn't sure, can I believe that, or was that just words? And all of that had been said way before Clay coming into the game. So by that point, it was like, I don't really know. I do remember that conversation with Clay. I remember saying, people have said, I don't know if we can, to be careful with Colt, but I feel really good about him, and my gut feeling and my intuition is usually on, but who knows? I don't really know what I'm doing here. So, but I don't remember him saying one way or the other, or having an opinion on whether you're trustworthy or not. I don't. That's not where that conversation led. I just remember saying that, trying to get some feedback from him, thinking, well, he knows everybody. He had nothing on that. He couldn't tell me, yes, you can trust him. No, you can't. It didn't go that route. It was just kind of okay, so you feel good with him.
Okay.
I want to say that I also heard that. I don't remember who or how or what.
I don't remember who.
It was after, yeah. So if whoever said it, if you want to come forward and say it, say it. But it was after I was in the unit with you. And then they were like, be careful with Colt. But I was like, we were just in the unit.
Did I say anything that made me look?
That's why I was confused. I was like,
weird.
We just worked together. We just had a little, one of our first side chats of the game to be like,
God forbid people want to actually have a working relationship with me. They'd actually know I'm pretty goddamn good to be partnered with. But what do I know?
Maybe not in ring toss.
So
I never said I was great at that.
This conversation, I remember hearing this prior to us actually having running our challenge together, our competition that we did together with the spaghetti noodles. And while of course we want to win, at the same time you can either feel chemistry with someone or not. And we worked amazing together. And so that was one scenario that I brought up as well, and said so again, I know we're gonna go.
I'll let your conscience decide.
So wait, so before we get into all that, let's talk about the daily challenge. So we get to the daily, it's a ring toss, it's a classic. We've done this in the past. Ashley, you're paired with Cam, Cope and Rachel. You guys were paired. Jared, you were paired with Lachey. Going into this, two things. One, Jared, you're clearly the house target. You knew that. You and Lachey were both saying, like, we have to win. There's no other option. And then another thing I wanted to say was that was the first time in the 3 times that we've done the game where it was neck and neck between that many teams. Like, everybody, well, not everybody, but most teams were scoring. And it was really like, I didn't know who was going to win. So congratulations to Ashley and Cam for winning that. But what was that challenge actually like? And what were your strategies? What was going through your guys' head? When you were paired up with your partner, like, was there anything that wasn't shown in the episode? And let's hear from Jared first.
Yeah, I'm historically not good at ring toss, so I was like, Lachey, go for it. Once Lachey was missing a few, I was like, all right, let me take over. And maybe I wish I took over earlier because I had my best ring toss performance of my life. I'm not sure if it was my reach. I think that maybe played a factor. But yeah, I was tickled pink how well we were doing to the point where I thought we were actually going to win. I didn't realize that Cam and Ashley had 2 of those double rings. So I thought they only had 3 and not 4. And ultimately that proved to be the difference.
So Rachel and Cope, you guys were struggling during this daily. What was going on? What was your guys' thought process? Like, you guys didn't score at all, right?
No.
Nothing.
You could go first.
Oh, sure. Well, I don't know. I think we had the right idea by going with the smaller ring first. I think a lot of people were. And I personally wasn't that confident in my ring toss ability. It's not a challenge I've really ever done before. So I, just figured go big with it. And I think after everybody had scored at that point, I was just like, it doesn't make sense to go back. Let's just like try. If we're gonna get anything, we might as well go for 2. But it was extremely, extremely frustrating. Usually after a little while, I'll get the hang of anything, but this was just not in the cards.
Yeah, no, I agree. We were looking at each other. We're like, should we go for another? Should we go get this bigger one? And then we were like wasting so much time deciding if we wanted to go back that it wasn't even worth it to even go back. And then the more people were going, like, we didn't have anyone else in line. So we literally just passed it back and forth, just kept going and going and just hoping.
Yeah. It was a far enough run where, it was just extra time we were wasting by even considering it. And it wasn't worth it.
And it was hard.
I know how hard it is because I've never won this challenge. I've been close, but it is hard, so I don't blame you guys. I'm more interested in knowing how you guys felt about gaining points for yourself rather than like getting people out, and if you guys would rather played that game. Where you're like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah, I was thrilled that I could not be ganged up on. So thank you for setting it up that way. Yeah.
I think we were I think after a while we were so focused on just getting something from like our pride that our focus wasn't to deter anybody. But at the same time, I was aware of Jared and Lachey's lead and was not trying to get in the way, because that would have, I think, been a really advantageous win for,
I was going to say, yeah, because I remember beforehand we were all kind of talking, because it was me and Lachey were deciding if we want to go with Jared or Culp, and we kind of came up with this like loose agreement of like, whatever happens, like I'm not saying your name or whatever, and that's why I didn't end up saying their name, because I felt like, I don't know, we just had this mutual, like, we feel like we're at the bottom, we're kind of screwed, let's just do what we can. So, I mean, that besides us winning, obviously, I feel like that would have been best case scenario for us, was them winning.
And you, Ashley, congratulations on that win. You and Cam really showed you guys were the best at that challenge, and that's The point of the rule was basically to see who's the best at this challenge, because once you're playing for yourself, obviously you're going to try to get that ring. So how did that different? Well, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the past ways we've done it. Before, you would like throw the ring and then you would throw an X basically, or throw bombs on a team. So I don't know how you would have been with a challenge like that instead.
I'm not familiar with that. So the way we played is the only way I would have known how to play in that situation. But I mean, of course, it was exciting to win. I will say, and obviously I can't tell 100%, but I think Cam and I thought we had to stay linked hands the entire time, and I'm pretty sure we did. So also, let's just like pat ourselves on the back even more for the fact that we literally ran with our hands together the whole time. I think, Dre, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was watching the episode going, hold on, why did we never let go of each other? But maybe we did, and I just missed it. I don't know.
I don't know if you guys, I know for a fact out of all the teams, you guys were one of the teams like locked hand in hand. I know
We were supposed to run like
Side by side,
linked
yeah.
together.
we said like if you didn't, because you know how the challenge goes, like we say like, okay, do this, and everyone's like, well, what if, so whatever. People were like asking, so we were like, as long as you're running next to your partner, like you cannot
Right.
just I'm so much faster than Kevin, so I'm gonna be at the rings waiting for him. Like that wasn't allowed. So some people ran holding hands, some people were holding each other's shirts, some people were just side by side, things like that. But I think you two were like one of the only pairs that
Yeah,
did
well,
not.
that is part of my downfall is I'm a rule follower and I'm not about to get like disqualified for, oh shit, our hands came unattached. And so yeah, like I think we ran that whole thing literally holding hands, which is so much more challenging to actually run linked to somebody. But but either way, honestly, when it came down to it, I mean, of course, a win is a win, and like definitely we worked hard for it and it was exhausting and we're running up that hill, and but I do think it came down to luck towards the very end because there were so many teams that were all just neck and neck. So it just wasn't, I mean, any one of those teams could have landed that last ring, and we just happened to, Cam just happened to be the one that perfect timing. Maybe we weren't waiting in line. Maybe we, and there's definitely some variables that also play into that. I mean, if you didn't have to wait in line as much and you got to throw over and over, well, maybe not. Culp and Rachel said they got to do that. So maybe not.
If you never go
mind.
back for another ring, you don't have to leave the line.
Right.
We were hogging the line.
And that could have been a
Yes,
strategy
very true.
too. Obviously, there was less cones, so you had to make a line at some point. And if you didn't want a certain someone to win, you would go to their line. So I don't know if
Right.
really people picked up on that kind of a strategy, but it also slows you down. So it's really the risk you take.
Yeah, it is. It's a toss up. Ring toss.
So we get our winners, Ashley and Cam, and Jared and Lachey. You guys were 1 point behind. And I honestly think you guys winning changes the entire game, like flips the game on its head, because Jared's the house target. So if Jared's off the table, where do they go next? And what do Jared and Lachey do? Which would have been crazy because not only is the house target safe, but 2 rookies are safe. I think the game would have blown up at that point. So we fast forward a little bit, and Ashley and Cam are talking to, I think it's Nate, Zay, Jerica. They're planning like what's gonna happen, who are we vote, like what's gonna be the house vote, what's gonna be the winner's pick, etc. We see Lachey, which hopefully we get to talk to her at some point tonight, but she says how she sees Clay as the puppet master and he has these people under him that are gonna make the moves for him, and she wants to take a strike at him. She knows she's gonna be going in with Jared, and she feels like it's just going to be her and Jared at the bottom for the remainder of the game. So we get to deliberation, and Jared, you start it, and you decide to call out Jerica. So I want to give you the stage to tell me a little bit of more detail of what ended up happening between you and Jerica and the partner swap and all that kind of stuff, so the viewers can get a little bit more behind the scenes.
Yeah, Jerica came to me maybe right before or the round before and was like, hey, if it's a puzzle challenge, I'd like to partner with you. Now, I know Jerica's, great at puzzles. I don't really need her to do a puzzle, just candidly, but I'm not going to say no to that, right? Because A, it's stupid to say no to someone that's extending the olive branch, and B, Jerica's a vet, right? So if I can partner myself up with a vet, that was really what my goal was every time there was a opportunity to partner with someone. Um, so I thought we were partnering up, even though she clearly said puzzles. It ended up not being a puzzle, and I was just taken aback that she reneged on that. Um, if we're in the rule of law, right? You're at the courtroom. She followed everything she said, right? I just, was not expecting her to renege on that, and I thought it was, a cheap shot, right? I just wasn't thrilled with that. Um, and I don't take anything I say in the show as a regret. I still stand by what I said in the show. Um, at the same token, I know I'm going in, right? Like I found X's comments in the show to be laughable because he's like, I'm moping around. Like, how many times have I said in this show, like, game on, I'm ready to go. I know I'm on the bottom, right? I know I'm going in, but at the same token, I gotta say something. I gotta make some pitch. And I thought going after Jerica and Xavier, rookie Xavier, was the best move because Xavier's a rookie, and then B, I thought maybe there would be some understanding from the challenge community that what Jerica did was not really like challenge behavior, right? How many times we hear in the challenge, just say what you mean, right? And that was ultimately my best pitch. But I pretty much knew whatever I said was not going to work because I knew the house wanted me gone.
So
My question
Ashley,
to you,
one
oh, I'm
second.
sorry. I just had a question for Jared. Do you think that Jericho was being selfish with choosing someone else, or like, do you think she actually had your best interest in wanting to win with you, being two puzzle masters for something like a puzzle and wanting to save you, keep you safe then, but maybe she doesn't want to get targeted now?
Wait, Jared, before you answer, I'm gonna put you backstage for now, just because you weren't in the deliberation. I'm gonna let Lachey in because I can only have a certain amount of people here. So hold on. Let me just put. Hey, Lachey.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, Lachey? How are you? Can I take that question now? Trey, you good?
Yeah. Please answer. I'm sorry. You're good.
Oh, nice background music.
You're muted,
Oh,
Uncle.
sorry. I'm watching Drake and Josh. Let me go turn it off.
That's so funny. That's a classic show.
But he said you're good, Jared.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. The way you frame that question, Kevin, it's like you basically were like, is it selfish for her to want you for the puzzle, but then like not want you for something else? I think you basically described how selfish that was. At the end of the day, I do think that was the right word. Jerica has to do what she has to do, right? I think the better question is do you falter for making the right gameplay? Because if she's partnered with me on a puzzle, I just can't see in what world we're losing that, right? And anything else, we are going to lose, especially because, Xavier being partnered with Jerica proved that. It actually was a blessing in disguise I wasn't partnered with Jerica because Lachey could outrun Jerica. But yeah, I do think it was selfish at the end of the day. I also don't know if I lose with Jerica, I still think we're going in because I think the house just, I was just persona non grata.
Yeah, I think that's like, don't get me wrong. If I'm Jared, if I'm in your shoes, I'm
Sorry, Xavier. I know you're watching. You gave it a good fighting chance, man.
I know that if can you hear me or am I muted? Okay. If I'm Jared, I'm gonna feel a type of way, and I'm gonna be like, "Damn, like that is selfish. You told me something, and now you don't want to be my partner." But I think Jared just clocked it exactly what Jericho was thinking. If if it's a puzzle, I don't see anyone beating them. There's no one beating them. They're definitely going to win if it's a puzzle. Now, if it's not a puzzle, which it wasn't, and Jared and Jericho lose, I think Jericho knew we're not winning this together. I'm not winning this probably. And if I'm attached to the biggest house target, I think her mindset was what Lachey was thinking, what Rachel was saying was, if I'm with Jared and we don't win, we're going in. And I think Jericho's plan was not to go into elimination. I think that no matter who Jared was with, unless it was potentially Ashley, I think that girl goes in, unless it's Ashley, because Ashley's the only girl that is not going. Like I think like Ashley's the only girl protected by that many people that if she's with Jared, they will not do that because they know it's going to burn Clay and Clay's not going to allow that, etc. If it's Rachel, if it's Lachey, if it's anybody else, I think they go in. So I think that's why Jericho did what she did. But 100%, if I'm Jared or if I'm a player in general, I'm going to be like, damn, like that wasn't cool.
Right.
But so okay, so now here's my question for all of you. The votes start coming in. Well, actually, before we get into the deliberation, Lachey, we were just talking about how, you mentioned Clay's this puppet master. You're going in already with Jared. You feel like he has all these people that are working for him and protecting him, and whatever he wants is going to get done. What made you realize that? Because, you did say when he was playing the elimination and your preseason, all that, like you were a fan of Clay, you wanted to work with Clay, like what switched, what made you realize like, damn, like unfortunately we're just not going to be able to work together, and what made you realize like I need to stop this or it's just going to be like I'm going to be toast?
Yeah, as crazy as it sounds, it was like a couple episodes earlier when he had came back for the tic-tac-toe. Big X jumping up and down, clapping with his heart and soul. Cam, the smile on Zay's face. I'm like, okay, obviously there's something I'm not a part of. There shouldn't be this much excitement for this like caliber of a champ to be coming back in the game. Oh, they feel set. They feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. I don't know this man from a can of paint. There's no reason for him to stick out, his neck for me. So don't try to get in where you fit in. Try to do something on your own because going that route wouldn't have got me anywhere.
Gotcha. So we get to the deliberation, and the whole Jared and Jericho thing starts happening. Lachey, you make a comment. You're like, stop apologizing. I don't know why anybody else is mad. We're the ones going in. Is there anything that you feel like from the edit wasn't shown prior to the votes, and like why did you say that?
No, I don't think so. I think Jared was just trying to express himself, which he had the right to be able to do. But at that point, it was just such a hate pile. Like anything the man said was like shut down. He couldn't even speak. It was just like problem after problem. And at that point, I was just kind of irritated. My time has come. I have to go into elimination. So now I'm frustrated. I don't understand why you're mad, Xavier, because you're sitting comfy. I'm not comfy. He's not comfy. So just let this man say what he got to say. I don't understand your input at all.
I appreciate you saying that, Lachey. Sorry to interrupt, Dre. I appreciate you saying that. I felt very awkward when you had said that.
Yeah.
Here I am just trying to make a case, any type of plea. I felt very, for lack of a better word, beta energy at that moment. I mean, like unattractive behavior, apologizing. And I appreciate you for that, Lachey, because you called a spade a spade. It's like, why should I fucking apologize? All right. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm playing the game. I'm making the pitch. I'm sharing information. I think the house should know. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I
No, I didn't
hated
even
that
mean it in
moment.
that way. I promise you. But I just knew like the vibe of the house and where we fell in that round. There was honestly got nothing you could have said. It would have just fallen on deaf ears. We were gonna go in regardless. So I'm just like, don't try to make no plea. They didn't already made up their mind. We just gotta go do it at this point.
100%.
So we get to the votes, and there's a comment that's being said that Janice said, and I want to hear your guys' POV about this. But Janice says in her confessional, like, this is where being a vet comes into play, because if they really wanted to, they could send me in, but they're not working together, and I'm not going to be the one to say that to them. Watching it back, how do you guys feel about that statement? Do you guys think, especially you four, I feel like you four, Cole and Jared, you guys were working together. That was obvious. And Rachel and Lachey, you guys made an agreement. You guys had made amends at this point. You guys are 4 votes right there. I don't know. I don't remember. Did you guys vote together or not? But like
we did.
Okay,
And
so just you 4 is a voting block. Why? Why do you like? Do you agree with Janice's statement? And why do you feel like, again, because I feel like T was working with Lachey and Rachel. That's another vote. She could have.
Yes, I've done the math.
Yeah,
I've done the math as the vet in the room. I'm perfectly aware of what could have happened in that moment, and quite frankly, whether it was Janice or whether it was Jerica or like I felt that whoever Jared and Lachey started that voting with was where I was going to go, and I would have assumed that folks working with Lachey, like T, and then by default Paddock, would also get the picture of where the tide was going. Because like you said right here, that's 4 votes. Nate, love this man, also votes Xavier and Jerica because he is not stupid and he sees where the tides are turning here. Now, that's 5. You get Paddock, you get T, there's your majority and a little extra. And like, if everybody stuck to what they were talking about, we would have had whoever we wanted. Now, does that mean that Jared and Lachey still end up going in at the hands of Ashley and Kim? Maybe, but it does put a lot of people on blast to know that, hey, we're not stupid and we can count and see where the writing is here. But
not to place blame, but to place blame. I think that yes, this could have very well happened.
Oh, and Brady,
if T
where the hell was she on that?
No, let me speak on why T is a hypocrite.
Oh God, yeah.
She said in the episode, "I can't vote Lachey." Valid, cool, that's fine. So I'm gonna vote Rachel instead. You talk about the rookie girls sticking together. I have not done anything to make you not want to work with me. And we are, like you said, in the same boat. We're trying to accomplish a goal. So throwing on me was not smart and not something that I would have done if I was trying to actually work with people. She said she wanted Janice out. She said she wanted Jerica out. Okay, maybe her voting Jerica, she should have voted Jerica and Xavier because sure, Xavier's a rookie, but you're not running against the guys. You're running against the girls and you want to get a girl vet out and you don't want it to be Paddock. And you, wherever the other votes are falling, they happen to be on Jerica. Why didn't you do that? That's it. That's it. I mean,
Jerica is just as much of a threat in any final situation as any girl in there because people always get stuck on puzzles. People always get stuck on brain teasers. And what is one thing that Jerica never wastes any more time than she has to on? Puzzles. So like, she's as much of a target if you're worried about who you're going to run in the end with. Just
I personally disagree with that.
I was gonna say I disagree respectfully, truly, honestly,
Okay.
respectfully. Like, I mean, you can like breeze by me in a puzzle, but I mean, you're not gonna outrun me. You can't beat me in anything physical. Anything else, Jerica lacks in puzzle. I will give her that, but I don't look at her as a threat.
Not only that, she can't eat, and also with the puzzles. We've seen over the history that Dre Media likes to reuse puzzles. If you just take the time to actually understand the puzzles, you have a better shot, in my opinion, than she does at running.
I mean, that's a big
and
assumption to
eating.
assume everybody's rewatching and understanding the history of the puzzles and things like that. So, I mean, agree to disagree with a couple of those, but I think that there's a lot of assumption being made in that too.
You can make
It's
the argument
unpredictable,
either way.
Yeah.
So,
But
go ahead.
I
I'm
think
sorry,
given
I
like
was
the
going-
lineup right there, any of the girls would have preferred to run against Jerica versus like a Paddock. Out of all the girls, if Janice and Paddock probably would have been the biggest threats. Like anybody of the girls would have told you, yes, I would prefer to run against Jerica. That would have gave me the
Given
best bet.
where we were at the vote at that point and where the votes were going, it just made sense to follow the wave.
No,
of
I agree
votes.
with that for sure.
Yeah.
And going back to your point, Dre, with Janice, the way I looked at it, First of all, I wasn't going to be the one to corral the votes, right? I mean, I had like the least amount of agency, maybe in the history of the caucus challenge. Um, but I looked at Janice as it's no longer the strong four boys with X, Clay, Cam, and Zay. Now it's a strong five with Janice, and to me, it's to people in the middle, like a Paddock, like a Jerica. You got five strong votes there, where it was pretty unclear, like what me and Culp and like who else? Lachey three, like it should, Rachel. It just seemed like that was just such a clear alliance, and we didn't have our ducks in a row.
Agree. This was like such a random group of people. I don't think I ever talked to like any of them specifically about strategy. We should have, but it just didn't happen that way.
Yeah, I think
You were tepid with me. You were tepid with me. You were like, I don't know. Can
Maybe
I
it was
trust?
because someone was spreading rumors about you, Culp.
Was it her? Was it you?
I don't think it was her. Me?
Any of you?
No.
I
I
think
still don't know
no,
where it comes
genuinely, I could be wrong, so don't take my word for it. But I think it was, to be honest with you, Jordan and Jordan, who felt a type of way with how you played on 18 because they weren't sure. Like I know even you said coming in, like Cole, you wanted to make sure they knew they could trust you.
100%. And that's why at every turn, you heard it in the first time I was in the unit, I flipped Jordan's name over. Yeah. She was not somebody I was going to vote for. Obviously, that's not something that she would have seen, but it is something I expressed after the fact. If anybody ever wanted to know what went on in there, come to me, because I was going to tell you exactly what went down. And I told her exactly what went down. So I was doing everything I could to mend.
I think 100% this format didn't allow for them to see that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like you guys were all, going to a deliberation and voting and they could see where you're voting. Like in the unit, they don't know what you're saying, what you're doing. Yeah, they weren't put up when you were in there, but like on 18, it was very clear, like you were burning your votes and playing more for yourself than like voting with them, and then they would end up in there, whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think that's where that came from. But yeah, I bring up that comment, that confessional that Janice made, just because I know a lot of people, viewers and players, have been like, damn, like Janice coming in, like, what the hell? Like she's a fresh set of legs. Like, how are we supposed to get her out? But it's like, if you really sit there and you think about it, it's not like it's something hidden. Jared just said, oh, they're not a 4 anymore. Now they're a 5. At that point, the same way people were moving with Jared, where it was like, he has to go no matter who it is. Then if you look at Janice that way, okay, she's with Nate, he has to go. And if we're being for real, all of you voting Janice and Nate is a great move because they're both phenomenal at like physically capable of this game, right? And I don't think besides Lachey, any of you were working with Nate that closely where it was like, I can't say him. So like, even if you guys all flipped on Nate and Janice, I still think that was a perfect opportunity because I know Rachel and Lachey both had a really good relationship with rookie Xavier, so that's another vote that you could have gotten on that pair. Obviously, they started it and you guys had no choice, but because you still had the votes to do it on Jerica and Xavier. But even if we're like looking at like, okay, who's a threat and 2 vets, that was a perfect opportunity. And I just felt like Janice said it perfectly. Like, I'm not going to be the one to point this out if you guys aren't going to vote together. And I think that's where the disconnect is of like people seeing like that core 4 of boys plus Janice being like, damn, like how are we supposed to get them out? The way you get them out is you're not part of it. You vote together. You create a opposite voting block, and when people don't do that, that's how they get through the game so easily because they can compete, and then they are also very unified. That is dangerous. If you cannot pull in the other people that are not part of that and you're not able to think quickly in that moment, of course they're not going to go in. Of course it's going to look like they're untouchable. But realistically, if, like you said, Culp, you've done the math, they're not untouchable. Every round, especially now moving forward, there's ways to get them out if people like Paddock and T and whoever else is playing the middle or whatever start voting as a block.
Yeah, if Paddock and T, I think honestly the vote fell apart by the time it got to Brady because once she threw it on Rachel and myself, which was very out of left field, considering how she sees herself amongst the larger vet group. It definitely kind of felt just it was a what the fuck moment, because I think that's where that would have been the turning point, I think, in the majority seeing where it could go really easily, and probably would have swayed a lot more confidence with T and Paddock, who they're going to do what T and Paddock do. And that's a known for me. But if they see an easy swing, they're going to jump on it. And that,
I'd also
it is
think
what it is.
this round specifically, it was possible to flip onto Janice and Nate if everyone came together and actually had a conversation, because Ashley's not voting and Cam's not voting. Those are two votes that would guarantee to want to keep Janice safe. So take those out of the equation. There's more people who are willing to do it. But again, we're all in a brain fog. We're all just trying to vote. And there's a storyline of whatever we're doing, we're going to vote Jared, but then there's people who are like, I can't do that, and then I can't vote this person, so we're just going to throw our votes, and the thrown votes are what prevented a plan from going through. So that was
hearing this now was just kind of crazy. I'm never one to not like admit something. I'm not the best strategist, so if they had came to me with this plan, as much as I adore Nate and was working with him, I wouldn't have minded, simply just to get Janice out of the game or give myself a better shot.
Yeah, it's pretty much the difference between a bunch of rookies here and the creator of the show, right? I mean, that I'm listening to you speak, Trey, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Let's be an alliance, and I could be the brawn, you could be the brain, right? But
okay, if you convert, as long as you turn on your back to that final, I'm down. But I'm gonna let Brady on. So if I remove myself, I can put her on. Kevin, you could take the lead. Before I hop on, before I hop off and let Brady in, I want to just say, like, I know we spoke about it the other night, but again, like, I just want to hop on this, like, Brady, Lachey, Rachel. They could have been a trio, a block. Like, Brady's over here and Lachey, we're so close. Like, this is the closest person I've gotten to in the house. The rookies want to stay together. Brady already feels on the outs from the vets. Brady and Rachel and Lachey have all said they want to take out stronger women in the game, right? A Janice, a Jerica, all these people. And then you have Colt and Jared working together, and even Jared and Brady working together. So I just don't understand where this crumbled. And
I could take it back, I would.
Immediately.
I'm gonna add Brady in, and then Kevin, you can talk to them about it. But
steer the ship, Kev.
Yeah, I got something to say.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Brady.
Hey, honey bunny.
Well, first, Brady, do you have anything to say about this?
You're muted.
Sorry, that was my bad. Yeah, I definitely do regret throwing my vote on Rachel, but I think, no offense, Cole, but like, you were literally like with everyone the entire season, and you messaged like everyone. You had alliances that I wasn't a part of, so I really didn't feel like I had any allegiance to, or that you had any allegiance to me. So I was just kind of like, whatever about throwing my vote on you, if I'm being honest.
Did we ever talk about that? I mean, I'm certainly not the first or last person to pregame a challenge, so I don't think it's fair to lay on me the way everybody lays on me with that shit.
No, I'm not saying that you were not allowed to do that. I'm just saying that, like, the reason I threw my vote on you is because of things like that, where you were working with a lot of people. You had the Angelica Alliance that I was not a part of, but you were also telling me you wanted to work.
This alliance meant nothing and did nothing. But within the first minutes of that game, half of that alleged alliance was in elimination, a contention for elimination. So at no point did that ever come to fruition. And I think it's a scapegoat for people to yell at me and put something on me. But at the end of the day,
I'm not putting anything on you. I'm explaining why.
Whenever people invoke the Angelica Alliance, like, what did it do?
I'm explaining why I felt like I could throw my vote on you, and why, because you were just saying that you were like,
at that point, though.
Yes, because why would I? You never made any effort to talk to me really about.
Did you feel protected in that moment by the other people who were still going to hold the majority in that game?
I felt protected by nobody. I felt, but
so then why risk the vote with somebody who you were connected to? Like, you were working with Jared. You were working Yeah, and you know how close Jared and I are. Like you got to understand, day 2 is day 2, and that's a whole different relationship that we could have capitalized on. Everybody talked about those previous days' alliances just going to hell, and it's a new ball game, and that was definitely the circumstance in that moment. So I think it's very unfair for you to say that I would have like held on to something that really wasn't that strong to begin with in terms of who I wasn't aligned with. Because if you asked me at the beginning of the game, I wouldn't have said I was aligned with Jared.
Well, you did make an alliance that I wasn't a part of, and even if it wasn't a powerful alliance in the game, it's still the principle of you making one, not telling me about it, but then simultaneously saying you wanted to work with me. So when that happened, I was like things aren't clicking for me.
I totally understand, and I totally understand what your mindset with that. I think to hold it for that long, though, in a moment where you held a lot of power to actually shift a lot of things, just like you did at the purge, like that. I think it was just an unfortunate moment that could have been bigger than it was.
But we didn't even talk before the vote about like concocting a plan. Like it wasn't like there was another plan in place. You know what I mean? Like my vote wasn't the sole vote. Like my vote didn't get anyone sent in. Like I feel like if I voted any which way, like it wouldn't have changed anything. If people
it would have influenced a lot of people to go, because by the time it got to you, that would have been 5 votes in that order against Xavier and Jerica. And that's a large groundswell of voting to happen all at once up front. So I think from a momentum standpoint, it would have spoken more to those paying attention.
But would it have changed T and Paddock's votes? I don't know.
I don't know, because they're the kind of people to latch onto a good plan when they see it. They're astute, they're attentive like that, and I think if they see a good out, they're going to jump onto it so long as it protects them.
But I feel like they're planners. They would have wanted to have known about that and planned it out to a T, so none of the blood got back on their hands. They're very calculated. I don't know if they would have went with that like on a whim.
Yeah, by this point, they've already figured out that they go with the 4 boys each round, and they're going to make it to the final. So I think unless you're going to propose a smarter plan, they're probably not going to jump off of that ship. And I think the bottom line of all this is that this game is just really hard, and you have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And there's a point in the game where you're going to realize, hey, this is the time. Like that, the last time I had that was on 17, and I threw in Nate versus Jason. I just knew that was the time to do it. And look, the next round, it was a whole format change, and we would have never been able to do that. So I think those opportunities are the hardest things to seek in this game. And like I said, people just stay in the middle for far too long, and it ends up biting them in the butt. So you have to just take the bull by the horns from the very start of this game and almost fight from the bottom from the very, very beginning of this game. Because it's not a bad thing fighting from the bottom as long as you're in a good position with yourself and you know that you're going to be able to get yourself to the top. And that's just the hardest part of this game. So I don't blame you guys, but it's just been apparent that not only the rookies are making rookie mistakes.
Oh, that was so shady. What the hell happened?
It's the truth. It's the truth, because Cam and Ashley were literally 2 votes taken away from this strong 6, 7, 8, 9. Exactly what Rachel pointed out. So that's kind of the thing you have to catch on.
I mean, I hate the rookie mistake shit. I mean, we can do better. But, like, to me, that's on the vets. Like, Culp, you know, I'm going to throw this a little on you. I'm going to throw it on Paddock and T. The vets have the agency in this game, right? All this time, it's rookie, vet, which is just, to me, it's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous part of this show because it's only convenient to say rookie and vet when it's convenient. Like, Ashley was not getting thrown in by the 4 because of Clay. She's a rookie. Right. I mean, it's convenient to say rookie vet as your reason. And to me, it's just ridiculous. But I'm kind of going off track here. You know, it's on T and Paddock to really mobilize us, in my opinion. I mean, Lachey and I have to lock in. You know, Rachel was on the bottom, right? She doesn't have a lot of agency at this point. I'm not going to fault, you know, us 3. Culp, I'm going to fault you a little bit.
Sure, that's fine. No, you meant that. You meant that.
No, I didn't, Culp. I love you, my sexy DILF. No, but in all seriousness, I do want to say one other thing about some of the girls in the game. This is not to be, actually, it is meant to be shady. Some of the, the first thing is, Jay was like, oh, like people are worried about Janice and Jerica. I'm sorry. The only time I'm worried about Jerica is if it's an elimination. If I see her in a final, I'm not worried. Secondly, Ashley, no tea, no shade, just was a goat the whole season. I'm sorry. I really don't. I think she's kind of followed the vets and did whatever the vets wanted to do. I love her down. Like, I think she's the sweetest person, but she had no strategic prowess at all. And I just think that she was referred to all season as Clay's cousin. Like, she wasn't even referred to as Ashley. Like, she wasn't referred to by her first name. So that's not me like throwing shots, but like, actually, yes, it is. And I also think, while I'm at it, bashing some of the other girls, I think Jordan is a hypocrite, and I think that she needs a reality check. And yes, she definitely needs a reality check. Is like, why? It's just the pot calling the kettle black. And then Jordan, where were you? Where were you all season? So that's where I'm going to leave it with the girls. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I just think it's a hard watch.
You got half of them, Brady. You're like halfway to go. You want to keep going?
I love Lachey.
Jared's keeping count.
Nothing bad to say about Lachey. Nothing bad to say about Rachel.
Love you, baby.
Mwah. I love May. I think May was so fun and like a refreshing character. Emily and T, I think, are confessional gangsters, and I think Emily is taking credit for a lot of moves that she really didn't dictate. And I think in her confessional, she's like, "Yeah, this is what I did." No, you didn't. That is not what you did, sister. I think T is smart, but like also it's like kind of annoying. Like it's kind of just like, okay, like let's wrap it up. Like you're doing too much, you know.
It just seems like she says one thing and then does the opposite, which is like, why like even say it in the first place if you're not going to follow through? Which is all about like, I'm not going to lie, but that's technically it's more lying when you're not following through on something. Like, make it.
Yeah, if we don't have all this smoke for Amir, we definitely gotta have some for T2. You clocked it. Confessional gangster. It was the sickest thing I had ever fucking witnessed in my life. She would have you like face to face, like, oh my god, we're so good, we're so great, just talking you up. Then confessionals dogging you out. No, say it with your chest if you're gonna say anything, T.
And you're not at the bottom of the rookie girls. You're not at the bottom. You're not at the bottom. Then goes over to Lachey and says, "You're winning." Like Rachel's going home. Like, no, that's not. You. And then it's kind of the opposite for me, where she like says nice, "Oh, rookie girls, whatever," and then, "Oh, I can't vote Lachey, so I'm gonna vote the other rookie girl," when Jerica's right there. Like, what allegiance do you have to Jerica that makes you not want to vote her?
She's just boring. I don't know why Jerica keeps getting brought back. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think her time is it's time to like hang up the jersey. No team is clean. Because what are you contributing at this point?
I just want to go back to the Janice thing real quick. And then I'll let you cook, Kevin. Sorry, 2-time. But I think before Janice even like came into this competition, she was number 3 all time in Caucus Girls after Damaris and Malin. I put Janice in that category. And with all due respect to Janice, though, I still think the threat of me and Culp on the guy side, particularly with, Cam and X and, those guys afraid for their lives, I think that just had more weight than the threat of Janice. And I think earlier in the conversation it showed that, like, I think any of the girls can win, like, at that point. Legitimately, I don't think there's any girl, like, head above shoulders like anyone. I don't think that about the guys.
What'd you
See,
say?
I didn't believe that. That was the crazy part. I tried to give her flowers, and I meant it in the most sincere way possible. I didn't think that I could have beat Janice in a final, and I probably still don't. Shit, she's really good. I just wish we would have taken the shot when we had the chance to do so.
I know.
Does anybody think that their pair would have if they were in power?
I probably would have.
I mean, Rachel and I sure would have.
Absolutely.
Who was she paired with again?
Nate.
Who was I paired with? X.
You were paired with X.
I mean, I feel like I think it also kind of depends on your partner. Like, I don't think X would have been down for that.
X probably would not have. X would have definitely gone in
or even for Clay.
I probably would have suggested it.
Who was Clay with?
Yeah. Oh.
Clay was with Paddock.
Pat, yeah.
Ooh.
I think
that would have been an amazing
That would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Zay, I think, would have considered it.
Lachey, who would you have done if we had won?
Clay and Paddock for sure.
Yeah, I think I was leaning toward that too.
Well, Cam and Ashley instantly say Matt and Rachel instead. And we are brought into this elimination that Matt loves.
I couldn't believe it. All the planning that goes into these games, and somehow I get fucked twice.
Two things could
Unfinished
have
business.
solved. Two minuscule things could have prevented this.
Yes, I will say, as production, I think we should have been smarter and just took it inside to the basketball court. Didn't think, obviously, there's so much going on in our heads. But obviously, we'll get to the results and whatnot. But with this challenge, even if it's outside, do you guys feel like there was anything you could have done differently, strategic-wise, to get through it a little bit better, Rachel?
I thought I was cooking. Like, I love this challenge. I play it all the time by myself. I said that in my confessional. Like, I saw this. I heard strategy, and I was like, I'm fucked. I'm, like, not a strategist. Nope. And then I saw this. I said, oh, easy. And I still think I was told that I was good after I placed my piece, and then it wasn't my turn anymore. But, I mean, there's nothing I could have done. I think we were dealing with the cards that we were dealt. Like, Lachey was placing her pieces where she thought I was placing mine too, and it really was just stupid and annoying. So yeah, especially after the season that I had, I was like, so this is how it ends. So that's also why I'm like, I think I need to come back for another season so I can get eliminated by somebody instead of by the crapshoot of the wind.
Don't say you want to be eliminated.
Okay, I do want to address that a little bit, because at first, of course, I'm gonna always like say what I feel like I have to say. At first, I did kind of feel some type of way because it felt like my win was such, I don't know, like a non-fact, like it was invalidated. Like, oh, it's just a win. Mind you, we both got told the rules. We got 30 seconds to place it. You gotta wait, watch it, and and the piece was still played. So we can't say it was a win because that could have very much well happened to me. It was very much being strategic when placing it, when watching it, and when walking away, and that just didn't happen. So, like, my win was kind of invalidated. Like, oh, Lachey didn't do it. The win did it. No, a win is a win. And I would have gave you your win had that happened to me. Like, okay, Rachel just beat me fair and square.
Yeah, it was really just out of frustration because I literally placed it and I was like, I'm good. Kevin even said, you're good. And I was like, okay, cool. My turn's over. And then it happened. And I was just like, how did that happen kind of thing.
Yeah, I do recall having like a 15-second rule, something like that going on, where either you place it in 15 seconds or we wait the 30 seconds out to see if the next person goes, or maybe once they roll the dice, that's when their turn officially starts. It was something in those rules that really got you, Rachel, because you obviously did finish putting your piece, but somewhere within the time frame, it just landed on still being your turn.
Yeah,
but I don't think I like blew you out the water. I didn't have no strategy. I was shaking so badly.
Yeah,
I had never seen that game before. There was no strategy. I'm just like, please just win. I don't know what else I can do.
Yeah.
What about you, Cole?
I'm gonna give Jared the opportunity to go first because I know he had a lot of things he wanted to say and maybe didn't get it shown.
Go ahead,
I didn't have a lot. I didn't have a lot to say on this. I think. I played a lot of Yahtzee. I said that during the show. And with Yahtzee, I just have like a belief every time the dice are in my hands, I'm going to do something magical. I've made a kid in college flip over the Monopoly board because of my dice rolling. And I just say like out loud, like I need snake eyes and like, bam. And like, it only happens like maybe once out of 6 times, but I just have that belief. And knowing Culp's history and like knowing my vibes, I felt really good. Unfortunately, I just hated how it happened. With me and Culp, it's like let's get a pole wrestle, right? I think that's what the crowd wants to see.
I mean, it's not. I would not have liked that either with you. So
that would have been. I would have like pulled up the toy and just like on the side.
I'm a realist. Take it easy, but But yeah, I do think that, I was just in such disbelief that it was another dice involved challenge that, this guy who comes in here touting that he's huge with muscles and this, that, and the other thing has to deal with in relation to his elimination. So I think I wish it was something a little bit more physically demanding for Jared and I, particularly. We have a history of going tit for tat when it comes to challenges. And I think, we respected each other regardless of the challenge. But this was just another one of those I wish I had your luck with dice, Jared, because there was nothing for me to do. There was no place I could have put it. It wasn't wind. It was a shitty roll with a piece
that was a death
that go nowhere.
sentence. I think
Yeah.
I even said like, "Oh, that's shit." As soon as you rolled
Yeah.
the long one.
But that was the game. That
it.
was my loss. It was your win.
Mhm.
It is, I lost the way he was going to lose. So, like, I can't bitch about it. It just sucks that it was, again, a situation that, like, was as much out of my hands as the first time around. So, whenever you do, Unfinished Business 3, sign me up.
Not
No
two.
dice.
Why not two?
No
No
dice. Yeah.
dice.
Get a good
There we
tagline in
go.
there.
I like no
Literally,
dice.
please, no dice.
From a strategy perspective, I will say, knowing the win, knowing what happened with Rachel,
Yeah.
my thought process was don't do anything screwy with the placement, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever like the obvious move is for what you roll, like put it there. Like I don't have to get cute with like trying to like, make it wobble or anything like that. Just
And we were
just put
moving
it in.
fast. We were moving fast. To
Yeah.
Kevin's point, there was a time limit to our turns, and we like as soon as you could see it in the footage. As soon as you placed, I was rolling already. So we didn't want to get caught up A in any rule violation, or B having the elements take it down before we did. So it was quick and painless, really.
Culp, what's your elimination record?
It's 0-2. Thanks.
Sorry, I just wanted him to say that out loud. That made me
Yeah. But I look good going out. So what can I say?
Yeah, it made me wonder because I've played this game a few times and outside, but I wonder if putting more holes throughout the layout of the tower would prevent from wind toppling it over. And that was just something that
Like if they were hollow pieces.
The
like
one
there
I
was
have
just
there
not
hollow
hollow.
pieces. Like they're
Like there wasn't like there was
plastic.
gaps, right?
like you could
yeah,
stick your arm
like it's
through
just the outline of the square instead of the solid. Yeah.
Yes,
I
and it
didn't
just
know
had
they
me
made it
wondering
that way.
if
Of
it would be
course,
better if there
Kevin
was
said
more.
put more holes. That checks out.
Next question. So Jared, actually Brady, how do you think you've seen a couple puzzles? How do you think you would have done in this elimination?
Next question.
Okay. Jared, you mentioned the caliber of this matchup. I don't think maybe too many people like realize the history between you and Culp and even Rachel with Lachey. I think honestly it probably would have been cool to see something where you guys did throw down. Unfortunately, the challenge likes to do random stuff on the worst times possible, but I wish we would have seen some sort of matchup like that. I wonder if that would have tainted your guys' relationships from when you guys left the show, though, if it was something more physical.
Well, he would have
I
had to
said
deal with the
before
fact
going
that
in-
I beat him, probably. So.
I said whatever happens, happens. Whoever wins deserves it. I said that before the game, and whatever challenge it could have been, I still stand by that.
Oh,
I
no,
think
true.
for the 4 people that were in this elimination, there was a lot of like closure or mutual respect, and it wasn't an ugly circumstance how anybody went out. Unfortunate, sure, you can say a million other adjectives to describe it, but I do think that there was a heavy amount of respect by the end of it on both sides, and it's nice to have a palate cleanser like that in mid-season.
Definitely poetic. I mean, on both sides, right? Just given, Lachey and Rachel, your situation, me and Culp, I mean, you really couldn't have scripted any better in that regard.
It was such a long time coming. I felt like this is what that relationship needed. And now I'm like able to move on and I'll call Rachel my friend. I'm just like, something so random. Got me a friend.
Yeah,
Wish
exactly.
we could have did this before.
Right. If only it happened months ago. But I think, going out, if I were to lose to anyone, I'm glad that I got a friend out of it.
And vice versa.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful things happening, and then we got to roll down the hill. I don't know why we did that.
That's how I lost in 18. So
really?
Congratulations. Welcome to a losing tradition.
Perfect. I'm glad I got to be a part of your losing tradition.
Never again.
It's better than
That's the last time I'm rolling down a hill, Kevin.
Yeah, I know y'all's legs were itchy as hell.
Yeah, that too.
After the pole wrestle too. I was like, I'm gonna have like itch marks forever because of this itchy ass grass.
Well,
Catch
on
me
that
never
note,
doing that.
Can I just say something
What?
real quick?
Yes.
We didn't get to celebrate Jared's birthday recently. It was a couple not too long ago. Happy 50th birthday, Jared.
Thanks, Brady. I was about to say, at my age, birthdays don't get fun anymore.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh
That's it.
wow.
What do you think, older or younger?
I thought you was younger. It's giving like 28.
I was gonna say
Brady,
like,
you taking notes?
I don't take
if I had
Yeah. Can you like be more like Lachey? Thank you. I just wanted to say one other thing. One thing that wasn't put in the show was just Culp's speech, and now he said that I played with integrity, and like that really meant so much to me, especially because like as Culp is talking, I'm literally thinking about the word integrity and how the whole Jericho situation went, and I'm like, man, did I like, was I not like whatever anti-integrity there? Like that's literally like what my head was. And for Culp to like say that, like at that moment, just like really like meant a lot to me. Dre, if you're listening, oh, Dre's back. Dre, why didn't you put that in? I was like maybe the only like good thing said about me this whole
But it's like they
season.
should have been
To be
like,
fair, I was probably going on for a long time. So
No, Colt's,
Yeah.
Colt's exit speech was so long, and I was like, I gotta chop a little bit so that I could put his actual confessional in it. But
even I, like halfway through, even I was starting to be like, I gotta wrap this shit up. But yeah,
so funny.
But
They should
I-
have known it was funny.
I did want to hop on here and say, like, watching again, specifically like this group, because I feel like all of you guys, like, somehow, some way, we're connected, right? And like for Rachel, what I wanted to talk about, since we didn't really get to see it too much on the behind the scenes part, is like, what was the turning point for Lachey and Rachel? Like, where did that? Because the whole season it was like opt this and opt that, and I need to get this person out, and I wish I was taking this person out. So when did that change, and how did you guys get to the point of like, hey, like, let's just work together and like put all the bullshit to the side?
I think for me, I mean, I'm still a person at the end of the day. I did feel bad for her having to go down there repeatedly and then to see her cry. You know how my mouth is sometimes and how it can come across. It's not what I actually feel. So I did have empathy towards her. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to have beef with this girl. If I could work with her, if we can be friends, I would like to do that. It just didn't get to happen this game. So hopefully we come back for another season and actually get to work together.
Yeah, for me, it was definitely when I got into the deliberation the very first time, or the unit, I was like, I have an opportunity to, like, they all want to put rookies in. I have the opportunity to say, I want to put Lachey in. She's coming for me, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't do that. And I didn't want to do that because I felt like you said, empathy, like we're on the same level right here. We're both rookies. I'm not going to go out of my way to try and screw somebody over just because they're coming after me or they don't like me or all this other crap. So I feel like at that moment, I kind of realized, I was like, it's better for me to work with her than against her. And then I guess, I don't know. I like let my guard down. I let my feel down. And we kind of were able to come to this agreement that like now she's starting to get I was going to say pinned and targeted at the same time as like, we need to throw her in, we need to throw her in, we need to throw her in. I was like, I know what that feels like. That happened to me just 12 hours ago. So I don't want that for anybody. So I think the best thing to do right now is to just squash and say, agree to disagree on some things and then agree on things going forward. And that's kind of just how it happened.
Yeah. Okay. So, Brady, I'm going to ask you for your final words before I let Ashley back in. What should we expect moving forward in this season? I know you were working closely at this point. Like, where do you stand with the vets, with the rookies, with your alliance? Do you have an alliance, and what should we expect moving forward?
No, I don't have an alliance. I don't really know where I stand in the game, and I think that it's a lot more fluid, especially now that the rookie vet line has been completely like decimated. I also want to say, this. Y'all's rookie season was hard, but my rookie season, I was on a train for 7 hours. I got there, was eliminated second, had to sit in a basement without our phone for 12 hours, wound my way back into the game, and then got purged out immediately after. So
Oh my god.
Jesus.
so that was my nightmare of a rookie season. So I get it. Rookie seasons are hard, and that's why I always like to play for the rookies, because I think everyone deserves the experience fairly, and I don't think people are more entitled to it than anyone else. That's my personal opinion. But I think that this season there's still a lot of game left. I think Janice and who came back with Janice?
Mike didn't get in, but Janice and Claire are the only two.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Mike, I love my little lip filler guy. But love him. But I think that the game is definitely shaken up for sure. And I think that, anything is possible. Expect the unexpected. This is Big Brother after all.
So before I let you go, who's your favorite player as of right now, and who's your least favorite?
I have to say Lachey and Jared. I love my underdogs. I'm always someone who roots for the underdogs and the people that are, fighting from the bottom, and I resonate with that. So definitely they're my favorites. Least favorites left in the game. Guys, I would say Clay. Clay kind of bothered me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Girls, I would say I know you're watching Ashley. I think that I'm gonna say Ashley, and Jerica just hasn't really done anything. If we're being honest, she really hasn't. She hasn't. So I would say that Jerica is the second girl, because it's just like, come on, Jerica, do something. Come on, Jerica, do something, Jerica. You just want to shake her watching. But yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Brady. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing what you bring for the remainder of the season. But I am going to let you hop off, and I'm going to bring back Ashley.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me. See you guys later.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Alrighty, Ashley. So, Ashley, we did cover a little bit, well, most of the episode, but I do want to go back to when you had the power decision. You won a daily with Cam, and you go down there and you have to send in a pair against Colt and
Hold
Rachel.
on. Am I the only one that can't hear you?
I can hear you, Dre.
Same.
Oh. Can everyone else hear me?
Yeah.
I can now. Yeah.
Oh, is that why everybody's hopping on and off?
Yeah, I
Wait.
gotta keep restarting it. I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Oh.
mine keeps doing
Now I
that.
can't.
I think I can hear y'all now.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was asking you, I said, so you win a daily with Cam. You now have the power to send in someone against Rachel and Colt. Is there anything that you feel wasn't shown? Because we didn't get to see you and Cam's discussion outside or anything like that. What was the conversation? And, watching it back, do you feel like there's anything you could have done differently, or do you stand by your decision, etc.?
I mean, it was hard for me because Colt and I did feel like we genuinely could have worked together. If I ever play with Colt, I will work with him. Period. If it's still up on the table for me to work with him, I will do that without hesitation, 1,000,000%. And it won't matter to me if Clay's in the game, if somebody else is in the game, it won't matter to me. Clay will, I will work with Colt because I do feel like that would have benefited me, or it will benefit me. Let me go back though and say, in this situation, I felt so insulated at this point with Clay and other vets that it did not, I don't feel like it would have benefited me to stick my neck out for anyone else that was against the grain. So if that makes sense. So I guess, so to go back when I said, oh, my hands were tied, they weren't tied. It wasn't like I didn't try to fight really. Which is, I think, why it hurt so bad, was so hard for me, and why it hurt so much, because in that moment, I didn't really feel like I could fight or that the fight was going to be beneficial for me. If that makes sense. I don't.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Gosh, dang it.
Yeah. I think there still is a world where you have the agency being Clay's sister
But also,
that it could have been a wash. Okay, I'll say that again.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I still think there's a possibility that you take whatever shot you want to take, follow your gut, make your decision, and be insulated by the fact that you are Clay's cousin, or Clay's sister. Because I think you were untouchable for a lot of that game. And you could have flexed that a little bit in that moment if you felt comfortable enough to. If you had enough people, I know you're saying you felt insulated, and to be honest, you were. So I understand if you didn't want to go beyond that.
That's where
We can't hear you, Ashley.
I can hear.
I could hear
You
her.
can?
same.
Okay. So that's where I watching it back now and now having a season under my belt, now I agree with you. Now, if I could do that again, I would have fought. I will fight for you. I would fight for you more. In the moment, I was just yes, I felt insulated, but not with a level of confidence to do a damn thing. So that's kind of where it's like, I guess, rookie, but also rookie to all of this period, not just rookie to this game, if that makes any sense as well.
It makes perfect sense. And listen, I believe everything that's coming out of your mouth. I know you don't have any ill will, and we're in a good position, and I wouldn't have faulted, It sucks to see. That's all. It sucks to see. And it sucks even more to not know what the conversation was or if there was a conversation, just because I know that the relationship we had up to that point
that's the
felt
other
pretty
thing
good.
is I don't think there really was an individual conversation. And that's where, as much as, I heard whenever I was listening to Brady and she said, I didn't really have to do much because I just was carried. Yeah. That was easy at the time.
Yeah.
That was an
Hey,
easy.
listen,
I mean,
at
I'm
least
sorry.
That's the hand.
Like,
That's the hand that you're dealt.
admits it.
Absolutely take it.
yeah.
But
I mean,
here's what I will say. Without spoiling anything, right? I see both sides. Do I think Ashley was carried? No. Do I think she was protected? Of course. But I do
There's a
think
big difference.
because I think she says in this episode, I think she says, I have connections on both sides. She did. She had the vets protecting her, and none of the rookies didn't want to work with her. None of you guys were like, oh, we shouldn't work with Ashley because she's technically a vet. Like, I think genuinely, like, all of you had some sort of connection to Ashley, and even like she had a connection with you. She told Clay, I like Jared, like all these different things. So I think carried is a little stretched, but I also think that like just watching Ashley, and again, I don't want to spoil too much. I think she had a chip on her shoulder coming in, like not confident. I think if Ashley returns, now that she knows the game, now that she's already played, she understands what this is. I think from just having those conversations with Ashley from the confessionals in the house, like she was mentally going through it and constantly was like, I can't do this. Like even with her win, she was like, I don't know if that was a fluke. I just won that with Cam. And it's like, she keeps reiterating, like, she can do this. And I think, again, knowing what the game is, being confident, being a veteran, training, I think we would see a whole different Ashley. Right?
Yeah, not a goat, not carried. She pulled her weight in all the challenges, like, decidedly. And I know because I was right there with her doing it. And so she's capable. She earned her wins where she got them. And it's, I totally understand the situation of you being insulated. And really, you had carte blanche to make any decision you wanted to, and it wouldn't really have hurt you.
And that I think that's the part too where the confidence comes in, because I didn't really know which way should I ruffle feathers, should I not, when I didn't feel a need to, and so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ride with it, which did get tricky as we started seeing the push from T with we need to be rookie strong. We need to be rookie strong. That was not going to be beneficial to me. I was way too vet strong, and I did know that.
Mhm.
I feel like that's
But
the part that hurt the most watching because I stated
Yeah.
I'm like I felt really close with Ashley and T throughout the whole show, like game wise, and then just to see like the episodes, like oh that was never a thing. I was never working with them. It was always going to be like oh, so all of this actually
well,
wasn't
I don't think
real.
I said I was never working with them. I said it wasn't going to be smart for me to only go rookie strong.
I don't
So
think you said never, but like by the stairs, you were like, yeah, that's just not a thing. Like I'm not with the rookie mentality, but we were under the impression that you were. We never got the feeling that you were completely vet strong until we started to see like, okay, she has no real reason to work with us, but we thought that you were. I mean, I understood it from a game perspective. I would have did the exact same thing. You were very much insulated, as you should have been, and it was a great position for you. Like people kept talking about Lachey was like the only rookie girl to not going to. Ashley didn't either. Ashley is sitting in the best position, arguably in the game right now. So it's like she was set up great, but I don't know. I guess it just stung a
I
little bit
think
because I thought that personally we
well, I
were.
think I did go in. It just happened to not be a true elimination. It was
yeah.
for a disadvantage. So, and I think that was before you. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely before you did. So, I mean, so
Was
if
it when
that
Clay was in the game?
No.
no,
I think
no.
I
that's
think
the situation. I could see where Brady meant to say maybe not go or carried, but it was definitely different than like carrying her own weight or really doing it because everything happened off the strength of Clay.
But
I
I'll be
mean, we can't
honest,
deny that though.
I felt I didn't feel any more confident with him coming in because that instantly was an instant target.
But it
So
wasn't though. You see what I'm saying? Zay immediately got like shunned for even saying your name. There was never any target on you because they knew not to go against Clay. There was no realistic world where you were ever a target. That just simply weren't true. You could have felt that way, but it just
right,
wasn't the
and that's what
truth.
I was gonna say. And watching it back, I think that's very true. I think watching it back, I absolutely can't see anywhere where there was a crack that yeah, I mean I definitely I think watching it back I'm more protected than I definitely than I felt. But again, that's also where the confidence comes in, and because in the moment, no, I mean half of what was going on, half of it I didn't really, some of it I didn't even know, had no idea that certain things were going on, but I didn't need to. And that does go to speak or speaks on how protected I was because I didn't have to know those things. So I mean, yes, I see what you're saying, but I wasn't just free and clear from the get go, which also planted some of that doubt moving forward. And the two that I felt the closest with were Rhea and Jordan, and they were gone and gone quick. In what it felt like. And so it was like, oh my gosh, like if this is happening to two people who I thought are on the top and I'm very good with, this shit is real and this can happen to anybody. And it doesn't matter if I'm protected, this can happen because I thought they were more protected than I was. So I mean, it just
Yeah, I think Ashley and Lachey are in like again, not to spoil can't spoil anything, but I think Lachey was in the position that Ashley is in now with the cooking cousins, with like she wasn't even a thought. Day one, she
right.
was not even a thought. Whereas like Ashley, you were. And now you have that agency, you have that protection with Clay and this strong alliance. And I think where the cracks are between like this side of the house and that is that they're a voting block and they know like if this is the plan, you do it. If not, you're out of the you can't sit with us basically. Whereas like everybody else is like is not really communicating and like Jenny said, frazzled and all these things like, okay, what's best for me? And they're not thinking as a unit. But I do think hopefully throughout the season you guys will see because again, I don't feel like the storyline is shown, and I get what you're saying, Lachey, but I do think the rookie girls were more unified than it's showing. Like even with Ashley, like I don't think she ever, besides right now, I don't think there was like a thing where she was like, oh, I just want Lachey gone, or I'm just gonna do whatever this person, aka Clay, wants. And I
Oh
think,
no, I never felt like that in the game. I just think like
yeah,
seeing it back, like her feelings on the Ricky. I don't know. I just felt like we were closer to her than I guess what we were. Her even mentioning Rhea and Jordan being her number one girls or who she felt closest to. That's not a problem, you know what I mean? Because I don't know every dynamic and every relationship, but I just don't think that they had the same agency as Clay does. I mean, that's just realistic. Clay is like head honcho in these games. Everywhere he turns, he has somebody willing to fall on the sword for him. Whereas Ray and Jordan, as we see, they are our targets. People are not scared to target them. They are scared to target Clay. It's not the same situation.
yeah. I think I agree with you 100%. I think it comes with, again, like, this is your rookie season, right? But you guys are gonna find. I'm not saying this is how you guys are gonna play, but let's say you four specifically, this rookie class, Rachel, Ashley, Jared, Lachey, you experience the same thing. If you guys continue to play and you guys become a solid four and you're like, listen, we're bonded, no matter what, we're going to do this. I think you then have that power. People are then scared because if I say Lachey and Jared, Ashley, and Rachel are going to be on my ass, I'm going to be scared to target Lachey. I think that's where the scary stuff comes from, because if you say Clay, he has allies that are not going to take that lightly. Now, if you say Culp, like Brady said, oh, no one's going to be mad, and it's because you guys haven't found your people. And I think that's why it, like, for Culp, at least the way I'm reading the room is like, I think for Culp, it's like he tried that with Ashley, right? And like, again, we don't know how it would have played out, but like he hasn't found that, and in his mind, he was probably thinking like, okay, I have Ashley, but like it got broken, right? He like it didn't come to fruition because she obviously threw you.
This is a really hallmark season at this point for rookies turning into vets, and for vets maybe going into their third season, because there's such a tonal shift. There's such a dynamic shift, and I think there's a line being drawn, and it's very obvious at this point with the challenges and with the dailies and how these alliances are moving forward and how these strategies are coming to fruition. Some people just will not budge. Some people don't want to compromise, and that is going to stay the same. So if you're watching and if you're paying attention and you are one of those people that I mentioned, this is the opportunity to say enough of this shit. Like, we can dictate a whole lot more if we just wake the fuck up. And sometimes it's a little dirty trying to get there, but it's becoming much clearer now, especially after this episode, that the future of this game is going to be a lot more fluid from the jump.
And I'm glad you're saying that, and I think that's why I wanted to bring up the conversation, because it's like, obviously, I feel like, obviously, as a player, you might not be happy like with the champs coming in, or maybe as a viewer, you're like, damn, why are they coming in, right? But it's like this is the challenge. This is not Survivor or Big Brother. You're there to compete. If you're able to win things, if you're confident in yourself, you're locking in and like thinking. Obviously, in that moment, there's so much more going on, right? I'm watching it from the outside, so it's easy for me to say these things. But when you're watching it back, like you said, I think going into future seasons, it's like nobody is untouchable. Whether you're a champion, whether you're a rookie, whether you're related to somebody, nobody is untouchable. And it's up to the cast and the players to lock in, wake up, and be like, we're all on the equal playing field, right? And like I said, I just want to emphasize that, because I feel like there's so much, like, the format, I'm watching it and I'm like, how cool would it have been if you guys band together and shook the table and made them sweat a little bit, you know what I mean? Even with like Ashley, like if she would have stood her ground, which is what I wanted to ask you, Ash, is like, I don't see a world where, as much as you are protected, I know in her eyes, she's never done this, right? So she's not coming from the gamer perspective, so she's like not thinking, oh, I'm protected, all these things. Even if she did stand her ground, who would you guys have thrown in? At least, obviously, you can't just say like, oh, this is what we would have done because Cam's not here. But if you're looking at the pairs, if you want to speak up and say who you think you would have done, but realistically, I don't think Cam would have allowed that. So it would have been probably, if Ashley and Cam tied it, they would have went down. because I think no matter what, and I also want, and also something else. I think from the episode, the original house vote was supposed to be Cope and Rachel, and somehow it ended up being Jared and Lachey. Maybe I misheard it, but I think I would have wanted to see what Cam would have done, because would Cam have thrown Lachey in for just to target Jared? You know what I mean? I don't think
I would be interested. I would be interested because I too think that the House vote was supposed to be Culp and Rachel, is what we were hearing.
Put him on the call.
Say that again.
Put him on the call.
Yeah, but I do remember, like, when we were we were outside and we were talking, and I'm sitting there listening, and I want to say I think Nate was over there, and I don't know who else came up, but I mean, those were the names that were surfacing. Was Jared's name was surfacing, but I'm pretty sure that Colt and Rachel were as well. And so I would be curious to know, though, like, would he have still, I think he would have, but I could be totally wrong on that. I think no matter what, I think those were the four that, and it wasn't because of Lachey. That one it was very evident at that point. And that's something I will be honest and say, I don't think in that moment I even realized how angry the whole house was towards Jared. How I miss it, I don't know, but I was just, I don't want to say oblivious, but I guess, like, it didn't pertain to me, so I just kind of kept to myself on that one. But at that point, I mean, it was evident that Jared was the house target, and not for me at all. But at the same time, am I fighting for that one? No. Why? Like, at that point, there was no reason to ruffle any feathers on that one for not just my personal game, but the longevity of even people I was working with. Like, there was no reason to do that. And it did suck because it was two people that, yes, Rachel's on the rookie side, where we're sitting there trying to say, hey, we're going to try to be rookie strong. But I also have to agree with Rachel. No matter how many times we kept saying, oh, rookie strong, for whatever reason, Rachel kept being the one that just was the easy, oh, okay, well, we're going to be rookie strong minus Rachel. It's okay.
Which is
Rachel
weird.
going in, which is not fair. Like,
No.
I don't get it. I don't understand
Especially
how that
if you're
kept
thinking
happening,
about
why it kept happening. But for me too, I was like, well, it's not my name.
Right. And that's kind of how my mentality was too. But also, we're running a final. You saw me lose a pole wrestle. Like, don't you want to take people to the final that you think you could? Well, that other thing goes, take people you can beat, or take people you want to compete against to see how big your dick is. Like, I think it was puzzling to me, because don't you want to run against somebody and win?
See, I think, though, Rachel, with that is that the thing with that is that you're only looking at from the girl side. Obviously, from the girl side, you're saying, take me, you could beat me. But like I think you're saying to yourself, like, oh, I'm the weak link, like, let me get to the final, you could beat me. But, like, does that benefit Cope and Jared? Because I think from what I saw, I would have loved to see you run the final, because, again, not going to spoil anything, I think you would have ran the final, right? Not walked. That's my opinion on the situation, where it's like, you have to also always keep that into consideration. Yes, you want to make yourself, you want to downplay yourself to the girls, but you don't want to be saying that around, like, a Cope or a Jared, because then they're like, damn, if I have to run this with Rachel, she can't even pole wrestle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kevin said, I will
on the girls.
Rachel, you will 90% of the time not be seeing a pole wrestle in that final. Physicality is not supposed to be considered.
I also can't eat, so if you want to put that in there too, might as well. But I get what you're saying, because it is kind of the girls and the guys though you're like
Oh.
there may only be one female, one male, two whatever, it's still everyone at the same time. So
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone was strong minus Rachel. It was annoying as fuck. And I want people to stop underestimating me, because if I ever come back, I'm going to be standing on 10 toes down, and I'm not going to be this pushover that I was. Period.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that like, even including Culp, right? I feel like you're a vet, so like you didn't have it as hard as them. Yeah, you haven't found your solid core yet, but that's what I love about the challenge, is you have the opportunity to find that. So let's just say for whatever reason, this rookie class decides moving forward, we went through it together, we're going to stick together. I think a lot of you have a different confidence in which it's like, no, you're not going to just vote me in, or no, you're not just going to, you know what I mean? I feel like Ashley now has the experience. So like and I do believe whether Clay's in the game or not, she will. Now I feel like she knows, like, okay, hey, yes, I will never go against you, Clay, but also that doesn't mean that I'm not going to work with Cole. Like, if whatever reason, let's say she's not with Clay, like, she needs to have her own people as well. And I think that moving forward, she would. I think Rachel, same thing with you. Like, I think you came in as an alternate. You didn't get that pregame. People didn't know you the way they knew each other already, on top of you being a rookie. And I think we spoke about it a little bit too. Like, there were times where you didn't want to interject. You just let it happen, like, because you didn't feel like you had the right. So, but I feel like now that you're not a rookie, or now that you know these people, now that you know the game, you're gonna have that confidence where it's like, no, like that, we're not gonna do that. And because I feel like Jared and Lachey, at least from what I've seen so far, they're not gonna just let people target them or like just roll with the punches. But like, I feel like there are certain players that aren't as confident or as vocal to stand up and be like, wait, maybe I don't want that, or no, it shouldn't be me. But I think, again, it comes with the experience, and moving forward in this game, I think we're going to definitely see a lot of different sides of all these people here. But to wrap it up, because we are getting to an hour and 45 minutes, unfortunately, we did lose Culp and Rachel this episode. So sad to see you guys go. It was very unfortunate, but we did see Lachey win her first elimination and Jared win his second elimination of the season. I will say this, no shade to any past cast. This rookie class is giving everything that I think the season needs. Like, it's rookie, like, they're giving us confessionals. They could compete. They're strategizing, whether they end up on top or not. I think this is how the rookie game needs to be played, and I think future classes should take notes. But I do want to give Culp and Rachel a minute to say your last final words, anything you want to say about the season and your time here with DMP and Unfinished Business. And then before you guys wrap up your final words, who are you enjoying watching the most this season, and maybe who you are not really enjoying? And we'll start with Culp.
Listen, Dre, you've always been good to me. You've always been fair with me. And it's a bummer that you, and I know you, are still chomping at the bit to see Big Man Culp and everything that you say this this is the second time. You're like, people don't know. People just don't fucking know. And some people...
No, the crazy part is this is what I casted you for. I'm like,
I know.
I need Culp to go in here and like smash skulls. Like, this is what I'm. And every time he gets thrown in, it's like Domino's, eat a pizza, get power off the field. I'm like knowing him and Jared are going into this, I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, and then even with Rachel and Lachey, I'm like, there's no way this is what this elimination is about to be. Like, they're
this is why you have another season and another season and another season. As disappointing as it was to go out virtually the same way, there is still a lot of story to be told with me. There is still a lot of opportunity to be had with me. And I think, what I can say confidently is I have found a much better footing. And so it doesn't always happen after your first season. Sometimes it takes one or two. But I definitely know a little bit more about how I want to navigate these moving forward. So my final words are, Thank you for giving me the platform once again. Thank you to everybody in here for letting me get some of this heat off my chest. Because being in it and watching it and hearing it, all different types of things at different times. Hindsight's 2020, yada yada yada. I won't go on too long for this one, but everybody listening, thank you. Who did I love? Jared Lachey. What a I want the best for you. I want the best for you moving forward. Honorable mention, Nate, because I love that motherfucker. I love that motherfucker. Who am I not pleased with? Ash with the big heart. I'm sorry. It was a bit of a bummer for me there. So I'm gonna have to give you a tick on that one right there. But I am excited to watch the rest of this moving forward and see what you could do. Sorry to keep it in the family too, but Clay, baby bro didn't do it for me this season. So there's a whole lot of season left, and y'all are in for a treat.
That's fair. You were still rooting for me when you went out, so I'm running with that.
I'm a fair man. Listen, I forget. Everything's fine.
Rachel, final word.
I kind of said it in my confessional when I was leaving. This is something I never thought I would be capable of doing, but I've seen everything that Dre does and produces, and Kevin as well. I think that there's a lot of respect I have for this game, for this community of DMP, and I'm glad I got to actually experience it firsthand, even though it was difficult, and even though it kind of messed with my head a little bit. I wouldn't change it. Like I said, I'm proud of things that I've done. Despite going from the bottom, I did have some up moments, which made the experience just that much better. And unfinished business, I feel like I fixed my unfinished business I had coming in, but I also got more unfinished business with that elimination. So definitely hope to come back and fuck shit up again as a vet this time. Like I said, rookies get hazed, so future rookies, I won't do it to you, but other people might. But like I said, all the love for everybody. This was super fun. I love being able to talk as many times as I come on here, show my face, say my shit. And it's all out of love and it's all out of game. And who I'm rooting for, I still gotta say, Jared and Lachey I have a lot of respect for, especially in that last game. I know, Jared, you're shocked, right? But I do. I know I talked a lot of shit, and I know I had my mouth full, and I blah, 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 blah. But the more I see, I feel like you are being painted out to be a villain or painting out to be the bad guy. And the more I hear your perspective, I'm like, oh, it wasn't shown, and question mark. So respect on that. Who am I not rooting for? I got a little chip on my shoulder for Ashley and Brady and T and Paddock, because I thought at least one of the four of those ladies would kind of have my back in a capacity. But hindsight's 2020, like Culp said. I know a lot of us would be thinking, oh, we want to do something, but we can't do it because of XYZ. We didn't get together to do things. But I know a lot of us are smart, and maybe next time it won't happen. But I'm also not rooting as much for Cam, Clay, that whole alliance, honestly. I don't have any personal beef with X and Zay, but it's just boring to watch. So I wanted people to shake it up. But yeah, thank you, Dre, DMP, everybody, cast, everybody.
So I'll give the floor to Jared. Final words, thoughts on the episode, what's to come this season, and who are you enjoying and who are you maybe not enjoying?
I just have to comment on the Rachel thing. I did not realize you had that much venom in me until I started reading the group chat. I'm actually shocked. I'm like, what did I do to her? And then I realized you played a game with Koa, and it makes a lot of sense. But I'm like,
a lot of the venom came from him, injected from his veins into mine.
I drove you home. After the game.
It was so confusing, because then I was like, I can't, when I threw you in, I was like, oh my God, is he mad at me? And then he did the same to me. And I'm like, I don't understand where I stand with this guy right now. And yeah.
I was genuinely shocked. You even said I'm like going to be the villain of the season for what? Throwing in people that were never aligned with me? Like I'm just like
That's what it
any,
looks like.
anyway, it's all good. You gave me a good laugh and I'm glad we could come full circle here. Um what can you expect? I think this is really fascinating right now in the game. From my perspective, like I'm on an island, right? I gotta like, I have no persona non grata, right? But you have this four of X, Clay, Cam, and Zay. And are they gonna have their wish and make it to the four? And then what are they gonna do with Nate and rookie Xavier, who've been basically kind of playing the middle? And how will that impact their game, right? Um, with the girls' side, you have some great storylines because you got the three rookies here and Ashley T and Lachey. But on the other end, you have four women who have really storied histories in the LRG world with Jerica, Janice, and Brady, maybe the most tenured caucus woman still playing, and then Paddock, of course. So just some really interesting stories and histories that could be written. Um, my favorite players actually are the rookie women, Lachey, Ashley, and T. Really
Mhm.
have looked at me more as an ally. And going in, like, I did not think I was going to align that much with the rookies, just given some of my vet alliances. But they did more for me. Um, sorry, Brady. Candidly, Brady and Paddock, who I put more weight on going into the game. So it was really a pleasure working and playing with T, Lachey, and Ashley, and there's more to come. My least favorite has to be like X. I mean, look, I don't comment on him talking crap about me episode 2, episode 3. Like, he's 19, right? That's a 19-year-old. But I don't understand. Like, it's a beef situation with me and Jerica. And like, does he have to inject into everything? Does he? I mean, I'm amazed he's not on this recap. I thought he would be on this recap for having absolutely no storyline this episode. Um, and like for me being a snake and lying, with the exception of lying to no, like Koa, what have I done that's been a lie? I haven't had the chance to lie because no one's wanted to work with me. So X is off his rocker. Look, I remember when I was 19, I was doing a lot of stuff. So anyway, that's my rant, Ray.
Thank you for being here tonight. Lachey, what are your final thoughts on this week's episode? What's to come? And who have you been enjoying watching and maybe not enjoying watching?
First I want to say what's to come. The the mid-season trailer, it's a lot. And of course, you never want to be perceived a certain type of way. I do see myself popping off a lot, but I do think that there are other cast members doing the exact same thing in multiple episodes constantly. So I just don't want to have that like persona that I am a pop-off queen. Like I did bond with multiple people out there, Ricky X, Brady. I did get really close to people. So like that's not my personality. But on the same token, I am a person who defends myself every single time. There's not a time in my life where I can imagine just someone running over me. That's just not who I am, and that's not my truth. So I do think that you, unfortunately, you are gonna see Lachey kind of going off her rocker a little bit, a couple more times, um, and just playing a game that I am proud of. I do think that my favorites of Brady. I just love Brady. She's so fucking funny. She is gold. She's just worthy of being on TV. Anything she says, I'm just like hooked on and I'm cracking up from start to finish. I am enjoying Rachel. Maybe not like in the moment playing the game, but like watching her story unfold, the parts that I didn't get to see. Definitely one of my favorites to watch. And for guys, Ricky X. Oh my god, another hilarious from start to finish. Every confessional. Then he has like a dog or a cat or something. I was like, where did this come from? And Nate is really fun to watch. An underdog right now, we don't get to see too much of him, but the parts we do see, I like. And honorable mention Jared. I do think it was like another Rachel story, just getting like, kicked down like every episode. Like, geez, it's getting exhausting to watch. It's giving, are you guys scared? Like, what's happening? Least favorite, of course, I'm gonna say Clay. Like we seen in the episode, he immediately told Janice that he was coming for me. So I wasn't crazy when I had this. I wasn't just coming for this man for no reason. It was valid. and just the whole little foursome. I don't have any personal problem with any of them, but to piggyback off of who said, Rachel, maybe it's just a little bit boring. Like, okay, we get it. You guys are best friends. You're never okay. God, but you don't want to be called Clay's minions. But that's exactly what it's giving. I'm willing to fall on the sword and die for Clay, but I'm not his minion. I swear. Okay. So yeah.
Thank you for your final words. Ashley, we'd love to hear from you before I wrap it up. Final words about this episode, thoughts and opinions. What should we expect? And who do you enjoy watching? And maybe who's your least favorite watching?
So, final words on this episode. I'm so sorry, Culp. That one, it was tough. That is the final words for me on this one. I do wish there is a part of me that wishes I came into this with a little bit more confidence and a little bit more of just kind of my own game and versus just trying to. But I also think, you know, I stand by. That's what your rookie season is for, is to figure that out. And so I can't change that. I don't want to change that. I'm proud of up to this point. And even watching it back, I still stand by, like, it was the best decision for me, for my game, for my people at the time. I am sorry to Lachey if you think that that was misleading. The one thing I will say from my perspective on me is the relationships I build were genuine in and out of the game. Like that was one thing, is I'm pretty true to who I am. And so if I'm having a conversation with you, it's a real conversation. So if that kind of got off different because of the confessionals or like watching it back, that I do apologize for that. I do
Oh,
still think
actually,
there's
knock
so
it
much.
off. Don't apologize. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I don't hold anything like against you.
Well,
Like I said,
I mean,
I
I
thought
think
we
we're
were
all
close.
entitled to apologize if, you know, if we feel, if something somebody else says makes it seem like that maybe something we did came across or was perceived in a way that we didn't intend for it to be perceived. So,
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
no, of course. I do think, you know, this episode definitely could have gone way different. Now kind of hashing it out. It didn't. And so I do think there is so much, there's definitely more to come. There is twists, turns, like there's just still so much to come. As far as favorites, I will say, while T is making it challenging for me personally up to this point, I have to give T props for being as vocal up rookie. It was a little bit of a, I don't want to say a game I would have wanted to play, because that's definitely not the type that I would have wanted to play 100%. However, T is extremely vocal. She came, you know, for coming into this game and saying like she doesn't really have any knowledge of this and she's all survivor, all survivor. She did not hold back on saying things and what kind of seemed to be like trying to stir up the house. And so I mean, I do want to give her props. I don't know if it classifies as favorite, but up to this point, she's definitely one that I'm like, okay, girl, let's see what you got. Let's see. I'm trying to think who else. Cam is a favorite of mine up to this point, and Jared. And I mean, of course, Culp was, but if we're talking who is left to come, Jared, at this point, Jared has definitely become a favorite of mine. But that's also from my perspective being in the game up to this far, if that makes sense. I don't really know that I have least favorites, honestly. Probably by next episode, maybe, or the one after, I probably have a least favorite, but for right now, I don't think I do.
Okay. Awesome.
Oh wait, I forgot to say my least favorite. I'm so sorry. You know me, I have to definitely put that in there. so sorry. Not sorry. T is definitely my least favorite. I cannot believe what I'm watching on my screen. I literally cannot. I thought I was so close with this girl in real life in the game. I'm like, I'm her number one. I'm so good. We so solid. She likes to talk about minions and breaking up the four. If there is a minion in the game, it is T. I will stand 10 toes down on that. Everything she does is for Paddock. If I hear Paddock again, I'm going to scream. Paddock. Paddock is my Oh my god. I wouldn't have believed this woman was married. I would have thought her and Paddock was a thing. I can't. T is blowing my mind. She does
See,
not get
and
enough.
that's where, but that's also where I kind of feel like, I think that's where, again, I don't know that favorite is a word because I wasn't loving it, but, and it was making my game really difficult, because she was being so vocal and she was being so, hey, let's do this, let's do this. I wasn't really sure that she was staying true to that either, which is also the part where I kind of had to say, I can't go full one. It was crazy. It would have been crazy for me to go full rookie. I mean, full rookie strong.
Right.
But either way, like she was a part of throwing May in. She now has been is she really rookie strong? And so I'm realizing this up to this point as well. And so that was also kind of a crossroad for me with her.
I appreciate her having my back. I did have your back in that game. Everything I told you was true. Just I don't know. It's kind of mind blowing to see. Instead of trying to break up the four, which we should have been doing anyway, we should have been trying to break up T and Paddock. Lord have mercy.
Yep.
She wasn't rookie strong or vet strong. She was Paddock strong.
I'm with you when you're right. I promise you.
So I'm gonna wrap this up. I want to say thank you to all of you guys that tuned in tonight in the live chat. I want to thank all of the players that came and said their piece. I also want to give you guys a huge shout out because I think this was probably the most not kumbaya, but I think the most respectful after the show and productive. I think everybody, you all came in, said what you had to say about each other, and kept the game and kept it pushing. I think you guys, I have so much respect and love for all of you guys. I know, I just want to emphasize to you guys a lot. I know the caucus challenge could be a lot in the moment and even after, right? You have randoms making rankings and commenting, and then you have your own cast not liking the decisions you make. I think just so you guys know, as hard as it is, I genuinely appreciate all of you putting yourselves in that situation, being vulnerable. Whether I agree with your game moves or not, I think you're all badass competitors. This rookie class, like I said, I can't put into words how amazing you guys are. And Rachel, I'm sad to see you go. It broke my heart editing it back and seeing you cry so much. I'm like, because what they don't see is Rachel was the life of the house.
I didn't cry that.
Oh, for sure.
She was literally the party. Jared, I think as much as you're being the villain, besides that whole Koa blow up, I don't see you as the villain. I think you, whether they want to say it or not, I think you're not necessarily a sheep, and you can't hide the fact that you're a target. You don't have that luxury. You are built like a robot, you are bionic. There is no, I look at you and I'm like, yeah,
not
this
human.
man has to go. And I literally, like Ashley said, and we had this conversation before you went in the house. I was like, they're gonna try and get you on mental, thinking that you are not smart just off your looks, and you proved them wrong. And listen, you were a target up until now. Hopefully maybe that changes, but I think you should be proud of yourself up until this point. Lachey, you know I love you down. I think you made the comment where you're like, I don't want people to just think I'm this pop-off person, and that's as much as that is you also did make a lot of real connections, and I genuinely believe that we have so many heart-to-hearts, and you are just someone that's not going to let people play in your face, and you wear your emotions on your sleeve. I think don't ever change that about yourself no matter what game you're playing, because it makes you who you are, and it also, you're making a show. As much as you don't want to be that person, you are giving everybody what they want to see. I think if you're able to take accountability and retract certain things when it's all said and done, that's okay. And you learn and you grow, and there's room and space for opportunity to grow for your next season. And then Ashley, same thing. I love watching you, and I think hopefully we get to see more of it throughout the season, throughout future seasons. But I think, like, again, like, for someone coming in that's not from this community, doesn't play these games, isn't a gamer, isn't a game bot, I think that you are coming in, and I think you should be extremely proud. I think if this is Ashley without the knowledge of the game as a rookie and with no training, I'm excited to see what you could bring in the future. And again, I just think you all should be very proud and keep your head up, no matter what's to come moving forward, the comments, the drama, all that. Just know I'm here for you guys if you ever need to chat, and like I support you guys. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting Dre Media, and I'm excited for everything that's to come. It still gets crazier and crazier. I think a lot of
And
opinion.
next Sunday is a double episode, right?
No. No. This Sunday was a double episode we watched 2 episodes, but we didn't stream the second one. But I promise you, it's worth the wait. Maybe if I feel generous, I'll send the cast the link. But how about this? I'll make everybody a promise. If we can get the views up on the episodes, I'll drop 2 episodes. But we got to get the views up. Everybody's got to do their part.
Heard.
But yeah, again, thank you guys so much. Genuinely, this means so much to me, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the night. Stay warm, stay safe, and we will see you guys next week for a new episode on Sunday and a recap on Monday or Tuesday. Much love. Have a good night, guys.
Love you all.
Bye.
Thanks,
Good night.
Dre.
Love you
Thanks, everybody.
guys.